Hey everyone, it's Deanna, also known as Shy the Jumper. So the past 3 visits I've done little vlogs on things in the area in Baltimore that are really cool to visit. So if you're a tourist looking to visit the area, you can go visit, like we did the Inner Harbor, we did other things that were awesome. Today I've decided to go and visit Monocacy Battlefield, which is like 40 minutes away from Catonsville, where I live in that area. And it's this really cool Civil War battlefield from the 1860s that you could visit. So I believe June 8th, 1864, there was a battle between the Union and Confederate soldiers that occurred on this battlefield. That there was a battle of the two sides, and there was a farm on the battlefield that a 6-year-old watched over during the battle. I've never been here before. I am bringing my trusty camera bag, and I'm going to take some pictures, and I'm going to do some more videos and show you guys around. So let's do this. So I'm at the museum for Monocacy Battlefield. It's pretty cool. I just learned that Maryland was a Union state. That's not the important thing that I learned, but it was a Union state. But the very cool and important fact was that it had slaves. So it was on it was considered a border state. So that basically meant that it was surrounded by Washington, D.C. from 3 sides. And in 1861, there were some supporters of the Confederacy that wanted to sway Maryland from the Union and join the Confederacy. But and they wanted to have a vote from Maryland to vote for the Confederacy instead of the Union, which I found out just now, which was pretty cool. So Lincoln, the president at the time, decided that he wasn't going to have that. So he saved Maryland from leaving the Union and wrote a proclamation, the Emancipation Proclamation, and didn't want to alienate Maryland from the Union. So that's pretty cool. 2 years before the Emancipation Proclamation, Baltimore was a place where the war's first blood took place, April 19th, 1861. So Union troops decided to pass through Baltimore, and Confederate supporters, because Maryland was a slave state, but it was technically a Union state. So Confederate supporters threw a lot of stuff at the soldiers, the Union troops, as they passed through Baltimore. And the soldiers freaked out and basically started shooting, and the citizens retaliated and returned fire. And this whole Baltimore riot, as it was later called, it took place in a matter of minutes, and a total of 16 people ended up dead in this case. So it was quite a riot, as it's called, the Baltimore riot, for a reason. Every time I turn a corner, I get scared that these are actually people, but they're mannequins for the display. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm so loud. It's quite an interesting place. A lot of information and history to be seen here. And this was the first place I came to. This is in the visitor center, so I haven't seen Battlefield just yet, but we will soon. So this is the diorama of the map of the battlefield, which is really cool because I just watched a summary of the battle. And a lot of these areas light up for significance of where their forces were for Union and Confederate. So if you can see, I'm right there, technically. So basically, Union soldiers were guarding the farm, the mill, and the house of Thomas, who owned the farm technically, and the bridge, which is very significant because this is the river that pretty much separated the forces. So Union soldiers were defending those posts, and the Confederacy was up there and advancing, but Union soldiers were able to hold a defense, and they had artillery, cannons, that sort of thing, which we'll see in the battlefield later. And they started, once their fence wasn't working, the Confederacy decided to flank them from the side, and they were able to get through to the river and flank them even more. Union at this point had a lot of injuries, deaths, and so on. So at one point there was a reprieve, and then during the day the battle restarted basically, and the Confederacy continued to flank them from the side, and that's when Union soldiers had to retreat. So the neat thing about this is Maryland being a border state and all, because of how close it is to Washington and Virginia, it was a mix of supporters from the Confederacy and the Union. There was an overwhelming amount of support from the Confederacy. So I don't think a lot of people realize how monumental this battle was, because the Confederacy, seeing as though Maryland was like right next to Washington, the capital at the time, and still is obviously, the Confederacy was looking to pass through Baltimore to get to the capital. And if it weren't for General Wallace, who was one of the generals and commanders at the time of this battle, that would have happened, and Confederacy would have taken over the United States and the capital, and that would have altered history so much than what we know today. So I'm gonna stop. This is literally, I believe, just the battlefield, well, a big majority of it, and that's the bridge that I'm gonna go under and cross over to the farm. So it's nice out. I'm on Urbana Pike in Fredericks, Maryland, and this is the junction, literally the railroad right next to the battlefield. It's closed to public use at the moment, but it's cool to see because it's right next to it. So more to come later. Already took some big amount of pics, and we'll get some more fun facts and exploring soon. So we are coming up on the best farm. That is not used as an adjective. It's actually the name of the barn or farm, if you would, that Confederate soldiers were stationed at in the Battle of Monocacy. So I'm going to turn around super quick. So in the background there, see, that's the best farm, and as you can see, the field. And if I turn around again, that is the junction, the railroad junction. You see behind me on the side. So Union soldiers were stationed here, and the Confederacy was stationed there. So the Union and the Confederacy were at like a stiff stalemate between these two stations. So it was battle of the best, because you had the Union and Confederacy, and Confederacy shot at Union soldiers on this end, and Union soldiers shot back, and Confederacy was at a stalemate for a brief amount of time. So as we get closer, we're gonna see what's in the farm, and there's also an abandoned barn, or I believe might be the bridge. So let's go check it out. The more I'm walking towards this barn, the more doubt that I have that it's actually the best barn, until I get closer and realize there's cannons there, which I'm pretty sure no one on their right mind would want 2 cannons stationed in front of their home on a modern day barn. So I guess I can say that it's the right barn that I'm going to in the farm. So yes. So my explorers and adventurers, it's almost 11:30. I got here around 10, a little after 10. It's been an hour and a half. I've been walking on foot. There's different areas of how this battle took place. There's the best farm. I got a map, so I'm using that today. I'm not a map person, so we're gonna use the map. So there is Worthington Farm, Best Farm, Thomas Farm, which is a lot. And then there's the Gambler Hill and the Monument. So I already did the Best Farm, which is this area. And I have to walk all the way back to my car, which is over by the visitor center. So I think either I'm going to take my car and drive it over to the others, or I'm gonna probably head home and save the other half for another day, which I'll probably do the second option. But please go check out my part 2 when I go visit the other areas of the battlefield. I'll probably do it next weekend. But if you want to visit Monocacy Battlefield, it is in Maryland, and if I can get the address, I don't know if it's on here, but I'm going to show you a map of it. If it works. But yeah. So take a look at the place. Entrance, there's no entrance fee, thank God, or else I'd be paying a lot. So check out the battlefield. Since the weather's getting warmer, it'd be a great place to take your family, learn a little history, and enjoy some of Maryland's great history. So I'm gonna catch you guys later. If you have any questions, or you want me to visit somewhere else that's in Maryland, please comment and let me know, and I'll do another video. See you guys.